It is such a beautiful thing to feel emotion, to feel something. We're so fortunate to have emotion in our lives, in our world, and it's so easy to be scared to show that. With men, especially, we weren't taught to express ourselves. Not really. We were told to shut the fuck up. It wasn't like, hey, why do you feel this way? Let's reflect. We have all these technological advancements in the world, but our emotions we're still back in like the BC times when we were hunting saber-toothed tigers. That hunter-gatherer spirit. Every man is afraid to show emotion because he's afraid of how it's going to affect his hunter-gatherer spirit. By hunter-gatherer spirit, I'm referring to that concept of what a man is. We all go back, us as men, we all go back to like what was my ancestors doing? What were my ancestors saying? The ones who were killing saber-toothed tigers and riding woolly mammoths. And it's so crazy that we still have that mindset because nobody's like that. The people who are like that are on drugs. The men who are actually like, yo, I'm gonna go outside and live outside for a week. Everything I eat is gonna be something I killed. There's people that just hunt because they don't know what to do with their lives. So they're like, let me go kill a deer. I have to shoot a deer in the neck to feel something. You know where that comes from? That comes from toxic masculinity. That machismo concept that like we have to suppress our emotions. We can't feel anything. I almost cried on my birthday. Tears of joy. I almost cried on my birthday because I didn't have no plans for my birthday and I was just going to chill, kick it with my lady. And my little brother walked through the door. He surprised me. He flew to New York to surprise me for my birthday, and it was beautiful. And it made me a little emotional. And I almost cried. I almost cried on my birthday because my brother came to surprise me, and I felt my ancestors judging me. So instead of crying, I just said, oh, that's dope. And I think that's a great example of how a lot of men process emotions. A lot of men process emotions instead of just being like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited! This is so great! Oh, we're all together, guys!" A lot of us do feel that, but instead, what comes out is, "But oh, that's what's up." Oh, type shit, type shit. I was hugging my brother, and I could tell he was ready to let go of the hug, but I wasn't. And I'm not saying that you need to be a dude who cries all the time, but have some emotional accessibility and introduce that word into your vocabulary, emotional accessibility. Because when you have access to your emotions, that makes you more emotionally intelligent. Another word to add to your vocabulary. And when you become more emotionally intelligent, now you can connect better with people because you can understand where people come from. Now you're more empathetic, right? And you can use that emotional intelligence to connect better with people in that job interview that you're trying to get or that cute girl at the bar you're trying to talk to. Rather than, your response to her story being, oh, cool. Okay. How did you feel about that? You can respond to her story and be like, oh my God, I totally understand what you're talking about. I bet you took 2 hours to get ready and then you showed up to that party and nobody was ready for you, right? That must have made you, especially since you got all that stuff going on in your life. You in school and you work a full-time job and you girls like that shit. Okay, you trying to talk to a girl, you show that emotional intelligence, show that but you're never going to get there if you block your own emotions off. Every man needs a diary, and I say that with confidence. 10 toes down, every man needs a diary. Your favorite rapper has a diary. Your favorite rapper who talks about his street life and his thug-like activities and you think he's cool as fuck, he has a diary. He just makes every sentence rhyme. But what do you think that is? You think rap music is just coming up with stuff with no meaning? Nah, they talking about how they feel. They're pouring their heart out into these songs. AKA writing in a diary. Their diary is just worth millions of dollars because they've turned their diary into a talent, but you don't got to worry about all that. You should write down how you feel. Call it a journal if you want. Call it a rhyme book. If you feel weird about calling it a diary, call it your rhyme book that doesn't rhyme. This is my rhyme book that doesn't rhyme. Today, this girl looked at me and I thought she was cute, so I approached her. And then she said, oh, I have a lazy eye. And that's what you put in your rhyme book that doesn't rhyme entry for today. This mindset of be a man, this machismo mindset comes from back in the day, men having to survive, having to literally kill predatory animals. So yeah, they couldn't sit down and talk about how they felt because they were too busy killing a grizzly bear. You're ordering DoorDash in your underwear at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. Your ancestors had an average lifespan of 7 years old for you to be able to order this spicy Thai food for $38 in your apartment. So how about you honor their sacrifice and, reflect, learn how to be more emotionally intelligent. For me, I have my Latino ancestors in the back of my head. No te llore. That's a big thing for men. As a boy, you never wanted to cry. Boys didn't want to cry because boys were always trying to be men. When in reality, it should have been the men who showed boys how to cry. It's okay to cry. Men can cry. There's nothing wrong with crying. Back in the day, they related to, like, if you cry, it's because you like men, because crying is feminine. Only women cry, and women like men. So if you're crying, it's because you like men. That's where it comes from. That's where it comes from. So really, men block off their emotion to keep that heterosexual tough guy status. But in reality, it's like you're not living that life. A lot of these dudes are not living these lives. A lot of these dudes who are keeping up that tough guy persona are accountants, Foot Locker managers. You don't want to be too emotionally accessible now that you're crying in public and people are noticing because you can't get your shit together. Yeah, people just side elbowing each other. What's he doing? You see him crying? I see this knot. Yeah, he's not even wiping it. It's like he's just letting it all run out. What do you think happened? I think he's an ugly crier. He's an ugly crier. You don't want to be called an ugly crier. That's the worst. Is when you're called an ugly crier. You don't want to let people know that you're an ugly crier. That's why you should keep your cries in private, but still do them. Still cry a little bit. There's consequences of not being emotionally accessible. I want to reference dude who cries when he's in a fight. You ever seen that dude? You ever seen a video or in person? You ever see this guy who's got his fists up and he's fighting, right? He's so angry. He's so angry at whoever he's fighting. He's so angry at the world that he can't take it. The adrenaline, his heartbeat, and his body doesn't know how to process such an intense emotion, especially with so much buildup of emotion. And so what happens is he's winding up his punches and he's got his guard up and he starts to cry. He's like, come on, motherfucker. Come on. Oh, fucking shit. Put the phone away. Come on, bro. You ever see that, bro? That's not a good look. I don't even care if you win the fight. Everybody's going to remember, yo, you was crying. Why? You was swinging and tearing. And that happens because of that emotional buildup. You just build up years of suppressing your emotions. It's going to pop out one day. You can't suppress your emotions forever. That should be a lesson learned. Once you see a grown man cry in a street fight or cry, like you ever just see him crash out, that's what crashing out is. Crashing out is like you just your brain breaks because you haven't been able to process the emotions correctly. And so now you're at this breaking point and now you're losing your shit at a 3-year-old's birthday party. That's not what you want. I know that's not what you want. So start in the beginning. Start with the fundamentals, okay? It's like, think of it like basketball or think of it like a sport. You got to learn the fundamentals, learn how to dribble. Then you work on chest pass, bounce pass. Then you could do behind the back. Then you could do between the leg passes and reverse hand layups. But first start with the fundamentals of emotion, which is fucking journaling. Journal, you bitch. Learn how to journal. Process, why do I feel this way? Asking those little questions. Allowing yourself to feel an emotion. Damn, that really hurt my feelings. If a girl rejects you, or if she doesn't respond to your message on the dating app, even though y'all matched and now you're like, oh, I thought she liked me, she matched with me, but she don't want to respond back to my message. Is it something that I said? Is it my message, or is it something in my profile? I did change my profile picture recently, so maybe that's what she saw and she got the ick. Did she get the ick? What is it about me? Nah, I don't care. Whatever. Yo, fuck her. I see it all the time. Guys being like, yo, fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck. You do give a fuck. And guess what? It's okay that you give a fuck. It's okay. It hurts your feelings. That's all right. Process that. And then you can move on. But when you're the guy that's walking through life like, I don't care. Dude, I don't even care. First of all, we all know you care. Because you keep bringing it up. No one who doesn't care will say, I don't care. If you don't care, you would literally just move on with your life. But when people are just sitting on, yo, she ain't texting me back, but I don't give a fuck, man. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, hey, we're talking about ordering Chinese food. Why are you talking about that chick from 3 weeks ago? No, I don't care, man. I don't even give a fuck. You do give a fuck. Go sit down in a room by yourself and go process why you give a fuck. And you'll feel so much better. Okay? Write it down in your rhyme journal that doesn't rhyme.